In this video I'm going to show you how you can achieve these 3 different types of scenarios with a small and basic lighting kit consisting of 1 key light and 3 smaller lights. Well, 3, but yeah, of 1 key light and 3 smaller lights, all of them being RGB LED lights, and of course we need a couple of light stands to hold them in place. Before starting with building the first setup, let's have a look at the lights I'm using themselves. Starting off with the main light in this setup, which is the Pixel P80 RGB panel light. This is an all metal design, full RGB range color LED panel that has an output of 60 watts. It has a color range of 2500 Kelvin up to 10K and can reproduce a staggering amount of color gels, and can be bought if you want to with an extra battery holder for outdoor use. In these scenarios I'm using it as the main light due to its massive RGB output volume, and since we are only shooting indoors in tight spaces in which the lighting can be controlled, 60 watts of LED power is plenty enough. Next up we have my trusted Godox TL60 tube light, which has 40 integrated Rosco and Lee gel color filters, can be controlled remotely through the Godox Light app, and is a very practical tool for lighting specific scenarios such as the ones we are actually creating. If you're interested in a review, there is a link to a review I made a couple of months ago. And finally, to splash some accent lights into the scenes, we are using 2 of these small Relight SO5 pocket-sized LED panels. These are great to have sudden accents in your scene, or they can be used to fake practical light sources in your image. They have all the necessary color modes you expect to match them to your main lights, and they can actually be charged via USB-C. They come in at roughly 30 euros a pair, and I have to say, I actually think everyone should have at least 2 of them in their shooting bag at all times. Let's begin with the first setup, which, in my opinion, should have a Stranger Things vibe. The most important step in this is creating a color contrast that still somehow harmonizes. This can be achieved with the red and blue tone. We will use the Pixel P80 as our main light and go with a teal color as a splash light onto the background. Next up, we are placing all of our RGB tubes and pocket lights behind the door we are trying to illuminate, all set to the same color value of red to match the lights. Let's place them out of sight of the camera, illuminating the door. And so this is how it looks after filming 2 different shots with the same lighting setup. Next up is the mystery fridge scene. This also plays with color contrasts, but this time the plan is having a colder bluish light coming from the fridge and a warmer color contrast lighting the rest of the scene. I'm using one of the small pocket lights as a practical, placing it into a candle holder that is strategically placed behind the main protagonist to give some more meaning to the main key light in this scenario. This is the Pixel P80 on a light stand right behind the subject, illuminating it with a backlight, and it is slightly placed to the side to offset the angle. Next up are our tube lights set to a tealish color and then placed inside the fridge on a different level. And now this is how it looks like without the grading. And here is the scene when it is graded. And now to the last scene. This is the most complex scene of them all, since we are shooting into a mirror to get the reflection as the highlight, but also the subject itself into the scene. I close the outside lights off and only use artificial light to have enough control over the scene. For this, I'm actually only using 2 lights in total. As the main color splash in this scene, the Pixel P80 is used to drench the background as well as part of the subject into a greenish color tone like the Matrix. It's hanging on the boom arm above the subject and camera, and the barn doors help to keep the spread of the color in check. And as the main light to create this uneasy bathroom feeling, I'm using the Godox TL60 tube light above the mirror to act as a broken light bulb with one of its built-in flickering effects. Since the mirror is reflecting quite a lot of lights, I also introduced a black flag into the scene to control the highlights and the contrast of the main subject. Black flags are a great tool to remove and control lights in many different scenarios, and sometime this year I will add a more detailed video on this subject to this channel. Here is the final scene. I hope this helped you get a better grip on how to light in different scenarios and why you actually need RGB lights for filmmaking in particular. If you have any questions or want to see more on this topic, then please comment down below. I'm always looking for more input. As always, my name is Leech and I'm off writing the next scripts. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe to this channel. There are plenty more of this type of content and many other things available for you to watch. Have a great day, see you around and goodbye.